Let's land this jet engine. Welcome, my friends, to another week of the Wholesome Music Podcast.
We are the DIY podcast for
DIY musicians.
Yes.
AKA
music's smallest podcast.
My name is Augustus Watkins. Pronouns he, she, they. I don't give a fuck what pronouns you give me because I am out here. That said, I will always respect yours. Who are you?
My name's Cam LJ. You're here with us at Secret Spot DTLA, where downtown Los Angeles is co-working space for creatives. My pronouns are he, they, or she, but I'll take any of the pronouns that you want to call me.
You know what? I'm not even going to give the rest of my intro spiel.
Really?
Because we have so much content to get to. Let's start out with something that I feel like is wholesome music podcast catnip.
Yes.
How to pitch to Spotify.
Let's do it.
This was such a cool discussion. I don't know about you, but
I loved this.
Yeah.
This was socially affirming for me.
Yeah.
This was like, oh yeah, we're killing it.
Yeah. There's some things that I took away from this that I did not know, and we get into it, but supposedly this is kind of newly revealed information.
Yes.
So whether that's true or not, I'm not sure, but I definitely
that seems like it.
Learned some things.
There's definitely some context too that you wouldn't know.
Yes.
There's some real context here.
Next, we did an extended intro.
Yeah, we did.
In which Cameron gave the flamingest, incinerating, white hot, melts the jet fuel steel beams melting hot take you have ever heard in your life. You are going to want to stick around for that.
Yes.
Before we get into news about rapper Afroman.
That's right.
Who has won his
Shout
lawsuit.
out Afroman.
That has been a cool thing. Next, we've got another lawsuit related to rappers. This one is with Chance the Rapper and his ex-manager.
Yes.
Before finally closing out with a discussion about BTS, the K-pop band, the juggernaut is back to take
again
over the planet.
Let's go. And it's a little road bump. A little bit of a road bump.
Things, are they as good as they seem in BTS's world, or is this a sign of a decline of the band or of a sign of a decline of the K-pop industry in general? We're going to get into that.
Let's find out.
So with that, please like, share, subscribe.
Hit the hype button.
The hype button is active, and we want you to use this as always. Thank you for joining us. Please comment or use whatever tools on whatever platform to stay in touch with us, because we love your comments.
We do. We do.
So let's talk about Spotify pitching.
Let's do it.
Here we go. We are back at it.
Doing it.
This is the first week in like a month and a half that we don't have a theme that we're doing.
That's right. This is we're theme free. We're out here.
We're just out here with
organic.
No parachute, just free fall in front of you.
No golden parachute.
Nope.
None of that.
No.
We're just flying.
Just hoping this lands. But I did find a very interesting piece about how to pitch to Spotify.
Ooh.
And I want to preface this with a couple things. First of all, this is from an Instagram account called @unheard_music. That's UNHURD.
Unheard.
Music. And the way they presented this, I have no idea if this is real or not, but they framed this in their Instagram post as if this was kind of previously not revealed information.
Ooh, okay.
Successful pitching.
Yeah.
And I'll preface this by saying there's nothing that I think about this that is necessarily not generalizable to the rest of the places that you might pitch to, the other streaming services.
Like this is something that even though we're talking specifically about pitching to Spotify, that you can translate and you can use when you're pitching your music anywhere.
Right, because one of the things I thought of even as I was getting this was like, why are we even covering Spotify? We kind of agree that Spotify sucks.
I mean, Spotify is still an enormous part of the industry. I feel like I don't actually know the number off the top of my head, but I wonder what market share Spotify makes up of like the music streaming like landscape. Like what percentage, at least for the US, is like Spotify, what percentage is Apple Music, and we kind of know the percentage that's Tidal. We know the breakdown for that, but like I would be really curious to see how that works out.
We do.
Shout out Tidal. I love you. I do love Tidal. Just like, working out and getting their numbers up.
Let's be honest here. Yeah.
Just like the Suno people. And, they figured it out.
They did. And so, yeah, in your music career, you'll be pitching to a lot of people. If you want to get more successful in your pitches, there's advice in here.
Yeah.
And there's things we were talking a little bit, and then we decided before we started, we kind of prepping.
Yes.
And I was like, shut up. This is great. Let's
actually do this. Because this is something we both do. We both end up pitching a lot of artists, like for your Spotify, your Spotify for artists, making sure that you're able to pitch your music for the editorial playlist. Because at least in 2026, that was such a big thing.
Yeah.
There was an era of both of our careers, where it was like playlist, everything, every release, you gotta have a playlist plan. What's your plan? Like, what's your playlist plan? And I feel like we've kind of graduated a little bit from that era, but there's still remnants of that, and there's still all of those pieces there.
I would say at this point, the takeaway I would have about it is like you said, don't put everything into Spotify.
Yeah.
As if that is the only thing that matters. Because even during that era, which I would say was like 2018 to 2024.
Yeah.
Where everyone was kind of still transfixed by the playlist.
Oh my God, playlist. Can we get on a playlist? Can we get an editorial playlist? Like, oh my God, that would change my music. Augustus, I know you do that. If you could do that for me, it would change my career.
It really wouldn't.
You're right. You should.
And so let's talk about let's do this. And then if there's a little time at the end, let's kind of talk about how I just said, like, they really won't change your career.
Yeah.
So, but let's talk about some ways that you kind of could leverage a Spotify placement.
Yeah.
What you can do. But first, let's go over these tips.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So this, again, is according to Unheard of Music. They say that this had been sort of revealed at a South by Southwest panel.
Ooh.
And there's things in here.
Insider conversation.
Yeah. And there's things in here that I didn't know. And so not like I'm the authority on these things, but I think there might be.
But you've done it a number of times. Yeah. It's not our first time at the rodeo.
I'm not an authority on it.
I'm not.
But I'm not the authority. So the first thing they say, I think this one is pretty well known, but 4 to 6 weeks out is still your best bet. If you want to be on an editorial playlist, give yourself a minimum of 4 weeks.
Yep.
That's 4 weeks from when Spotify receives your track from your distributor, and allow 3 to 5 additional days for approval. So really 5 weeks.
Do we know why that is? Do they give us a description?
They said that the human curators need time to go through submissions.
That is what I tell every single person, because they're like, oh, why are we submitting so early, bro? Like, we could just put it out in a week, bro. Like, we're ready. Like, I'm sure DistroKid could get it distributed by then. Like,
they can.
They can, so why not? It's like, well, if we're pitching to a real person, well, you want time for that person to, like, for me, I know when I pitch, I give tons of information about my artist. Like, I only have so many characters. Yep. Like, you have like 3,000 characters, I think. And so it's like, I'll like let you know where they're from. Like, what have they done?
Hang on, because we're gonna. I'm gonna give you the insight on that.
Yes.
And then so you said the week thing is interesting because the release radar you can still do it 7 days out.
Yeah.
What I found, I'm wondering if you found this too, is if let's say you pitch on Thursday and it drops Friday, so you're not going to get to, it won't show up tomorrow, that Friday. No. Let's say you release it Thursday the 1st and Friday the 2nd is the release day. It won't show up on Release Radar Friday the 2nd, but in my experience, it will show up on Release Radar Friday the 9th, the next week.
The next Friday. Yes, the next consecutive, like, new music Friday.
Yeah, so it's not a total loss. It's still worth doing the pitch for Release Radar. But it's
especially if you have audience, if you have people who are listening to you, because that release radar is all people who follow you.
Yep. It shows to everyone who follows you for up to 4 weeks.
Yeah. So like when you're on Spotify and you're like listening through your music or you're looking at your suggestions and it's like, oh my God, the release radar, then your song will come up on that. And people will just, if they like your music and are already following you, or maybe they had like a relationship to a song you released before, or like, oh, let me give this a try. Let me see how it is. See how it relates.
So this, by the way, just to take a slight detour, is one of the reasons why I recommend to people to release music that's in a similar genre under the same name.
Yeah.
If your last track was a hip hop track, don't explore a little bit, but don't release a country track from the same artist as your last rap track, because
absolutely,
let's say you have 400 followers on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
Those 400 followers followed you because you had a banger rap track.
Yeah.
And now you're dropping country. That's true to you, but that is probably not going to be what they want.
That might be a shock.
Yeah.
It would be like, this seems like a tangent, but it's not. It's like labels. You remember back in the day, like labels were all about like a whole genre of music. So it would be all about like, okay, and it makes a lot of sense that we segregate our music in this way, because at least as professionals, if you're trying to make a career out of music, like you're going to have more resources. For me, I'm already always in like kind of the indie singer-songwriter, R&B, pop, hip hop space. So when people come to me and they're like, oh, I'd really love to find a collaborator who's like me, I have all these people who are in that area. If you come to me and you're a country artist, which I do work with, it's going to be harder for me to be like, oh yeah, here's 6 other country artists just like you, because I don't have a relationship built with them yet.
So that actually is a really nice transition to talking about what Spotify does want in their pitch.
Yes.
The first thing that they say here is to write the metadata into your pitch.
Yes.
And so what they mean is including the searchable tags that a computer or an editor would use to filter through. So the example they'll use, and I think we'll just kind of stick with their example, is if they say if an editor is looking for a mellow guitar track from London, they aren't going to type in soulful masterpiece.
No.
They're going to type in
London chill track.
Right. So they say make the editor's job super easy. And here's an example of a good pitch.
Yeah.
And then I will I'll pause to mention what's good about it after
let's get into it.
Hi, Spotify. I wrote Midnight's song title.
Yep.
I changed my mind. I'm going to read this whole thing, then we'll go back and say what it is.
Yes.
I think that'll be a little cleaner. Hi, Spotify. I wrote Midnights for anyone who has ever felt lonely in a crowded room. It's inspired by my first year living in London, specifically those long, quiet walks home after 2 a.m. when the city finally stops moving. I wanted to pair that late night feeling with the 90s soul records my dad used to play, but updated with modern UK garage textures. So I am excited to debut this at my live headline show at the Jazz Cafe on 10th of March. I think it would sit perfectly in butter or low key. Thanks for listening.
Yes, there are a number of things that I pick out right away that I think were amazing in this pitch. You told them where you wanted it to go. You told them which playlist you thought it would fit in. They said butter and low key. Those are the specific playlists. So when I'm pitching for an artist, I try to find 2 or 3 editorial playlists that I'm like, it already fits in this. That way, if by some chance this is not being reviewed by a human initially, they can kind of be like a little hint for the machine to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to send this to the curators who are curating for butter or who are curating for any of the other, or for the low key playlist, for these specific editorial playlists at Spotify. So adding the name of like the playlist you think that it would be similar to or that it would work in, and then adding where you're from, who you are, and adding what is it that you're doing that would like let us know that there's marketing behind this song. Like, how are you, like, what activations are there for this song that let me know that I should share it, because you're not just dumping this into the void. Is there a marketing plan behind this? Are we doing like a performance on Fallon? Are you doing like this? Is there anything supportive that's going to go along the song that you can let them know in your pitch?
So put a pin on the marketing drivers thing, because there's some nuance there.
Yes.
So here's the things. Oh goodness, I did it again.
Oh no.
Here's the things that
Do you want me to help you fill time? Do you want me to help you fill up all this?
You did so good last week.
I know I did.
I don't know how I do that. I don't guess.
I don't either. I clearly don't know how to do it either.
So they said, put the song title. They said, put the meaning, which is that long, quiet nights walking home after 2 a.m. when the city finally stops moving.
And when you say the meaning, it's like so nice the way they did it descriptively, in a way that like both as a human, you could read it and get an immediate sense even before you listen to the song, like what the vibe is.
Yes.
What is this? Like, what is the vibe of this song? What am I going to press play and get myself into? And then like, also giving those descriptive words that they could use as metadata. So being like, oh, this is a chill song. This is a late night drive vibe.
Yep.
Or this is a how is the song meant to be played and used?
So then later they go on to say that the late night feeling paired with 90s soul records, but updated with modern UK garage. So those are keywords.
Yeah.
Late night feeling, 90s soul, modern UK garage. Now we're building, this is metadata.
Yes.
Which is just data about something.
Yes.
And it starts to build a collection of data points that a person, or most likely machine learning, is going to use to kind of triangulate your position.
Categorize you.
Yeah. And then when they sort of play the song, and that might be a machine too.
Yes.
But at least now, if those data points then match with the feeling of the song, at least you've got a chance.
And if you do have all those data points in there, all these things that let it know, it maybe gives you a higher percentage chance of getting to a human, of like saying, okay, this is pretty clear. Like, we know there are these things. All right, as a reviewer, I can only review so many. So I'm reviewing these ones. And this is going to help you, I think, get onto that human reviewed list.
So let's take a look at now what not to do.
Yeah.
So here is a bad pitch.
My song's the best song. You should play it. I love this song. I wrote it yesterday.
Yeah. So this song is a monster hit, spending £2 million $2 million on TikTok ads and paying a creator for a viral dance, dropping a track every week. So get me on today's top hits. It's kind of pop, kind of rap, kind of vibes. Follow me at James Jones Music 213.
Yikes.
So here's the thing.
Not what I wanted.
No. So this song is a monster hit. That's just generic.
I don't know. That didn't tell me anything about the song.
Nothing.
unless your song is literally a Halloween song. It's the monster hit.
Because think about all the songs that are hits, right?
Yeah.
Just to break this down to really look at what this is. You think of the wide variety of types of songs, genres that are hits out there right now.
And what even, this is 2026. We're on Spotify. What quantifies a hit?
Yeah.
What's a hit? Is it a hit because you got more than 1,000 streams? That might be a hit for you as an artist, but that's definitely not a hit for Taylor Swift.
Right.
That's not a hit for Indie Irie, there's different levels for different players.
Okay.
We gotta get in here.
Let's do it. It's still Women's History Month.
It is. We're out here.
Shout out India Arie. Holy shit. I wasn't expecting that was a deep cut. I fuck with India Arie. That's nice. They say the spending $2 million on TikTok, $2,000 on TikTok ads and buying a creator for a viral dance. They highlight that as buying fans.
Yikes.
Big no-no.
Yikes.
Dropping a track every week. It's kind of pop, kind of rap, kind of vibes. That's also very generic.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That doesn't, well, if you say it's kind of pop, kind of rap, what is this? Kind of pop, kind of rap,
kind of vibes.
Like, that doesn't, okay, one, if you told me that this is a pop rap song, I could get something from that. Not a lot. You didn't give me a lot of descriptors. You didn't tell me like this is an upbeat song with like a vibe about this, or like you didn't give me a lot of information. And with this is something that I talk to a lot of like new artists about when they're trying to pitch their songs for sync or for playlisting, which is to try to get genre specific.
Yeah.
So instead of thinking, I know a lot of artists are like, oh, we're all about genre bending, bro. This is my country hip hop song, dude.
Okay.
Cool. But if you want to get it onto a playlist, try to make it, okay, you're trying to get on a country playlist. Let's work on those country identifiers, like things that are going to give us the metadata that we want. Like, oh, this is a song about trucks. Cool. That's easy. We know where this is going to fit. Like if you're making a country rap symphony song, it's going to be hard to find a place for that to live, and even harder to find a playlist for it to live in.
Yeah. And so that sort of undefined genre and sound tag they mention is just like, and think about the difference between kind of pop, kind of rap, kind of vibes, compared to inspired by my first year living in London, those long, quiet walks home after 2 a.m. when the city finally stops moving, pairing that late night feeling with the 90s soul records my dad used to play with modern UK garage.
Yeah.
Look at the difference there between what is evoked.
Yes. Yeah. And you can feel it. You immediately get a sense of what that song is about.
Yeah.
Like I can already kind of give you, if you gave that to me as a prompt to write a song, I bet I could backwards write that song.
That's a really nice maybe exercise. I hadn't thought about that as sort of an exercise to think about, because because pitching your stuff is so hard because you're so close to it and there's so much meaning behind it. So maybe that's a way to think about it, is like, what would I need to say to
a group of songwriters
if they were going to reverse engineer my song? What would I have to say to a group of songwriters, or like, God forbid, even Suno?
Oh God.
I mean, honestly, it's a good exercise.
It's an exercise
to get it to the closest it could possibly write to what you felt in your heart and what came out in the studio.
That's actually a really good idea. I think that's a good technique, a good trick that you can use to just like do a quick check, like on your pitch before you click send. Like, do you think if I read this and I didn't know, would I make this song?
Yeah. And maybe it's worth sending to your team, to your friends, to just get a little bit of feedback on that.
Yes. You do not. Okay. One of the best things about like submitting your song 6, 5, 7 weeks in advance is that you have time to get feedback. You don't need to immediately click pitch. Oh, okay, cool. We pitched it. Like you can take some time to like, hey, what do you think about this? I'm sending this out tomorrow. Like sending this out in a week. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts. Are there any things you would add to this? Like, does this sound like the description of this song?
Yeah. Here's the song and here's the description. Where is it good? Where is it work? And you send that to 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 people who you trust,
and you're gonna get real feedback.
And if you really don't want to bother your friends, or you don't have 10 people, then you can hit up either of us. We would do that for you for a small but reasonable fee.
Absolutely.
I want to talk really, really quickly, because we're getting to the end of this. We said we would say a little bit about what you would do to leverage placement after you got it, because as we were saying at the top of this,
and other things that are valuable than just playlisting can feel like it's your only option when you're releasing a song. Like, okay, I made the song, I've uploaded it, what do I do now? Playlists, I guess. Like some other things that you can use, like in other places. I think this is just really important to talk about, and I know we talk about this all the time, we talk about this every week, but there are so many other ways for you to make money from your music than putting it on streaming. Like, I think that streaming playlisting is great for building your streaming audience, and we can talk maybe another time about the value of playlisting. Like, how does it look when a song is placed into a playlist, or like, how does that affect your artist, or like, and how does it affect their streaming numbers? And I think it can be really valuable for things like, hey, I have a brand new artist and I'm trying to break like 1,000 streams. I want my songs to be monetizable. I want to start building a streaming specific audience. That's totally, like, I think that's a very viable and valuable reason to do playlisting. But I think there are other things like selling on Bandcamp, and like, even now on Tidal, selling other places where you can collect $1 or $1.50 for your song instead of 0.0036.
And so what I would say is, to me, one of the biggest uses of a playlist is to take that and use that as evidence for your future promotion.
Yes.
Not only can you then mention that in your next Spotify pitch.
Yes. My song has been on this playlist.
But you can also use that for all of your future promo. So now you update your bio. If you got a major one, you throw that maybe in your bio. Just one little sentence. This person's last record, my last record, was featured on a
Spotify editorial playlist
with 1.5 million follows. And that looks really nice. And so now
it provides some social proof too, for that next person reading it. They're like, well, I'm not the first one. someone else believes in this too. So, okay, let me take a look.
So I would say there's lots of things to do. And so maybe we'll leave it at that. Maybe we'll talk about this in more extent later. But to you, as you're thinking about your Spotify, don't think about that as the end goal. Think about in your career and where you're at and what you have going on and where you want to be, how you might leverage a placement for the next goal. Because placements cannot be the goal anymore.
No, it can't be the only goal. It's very much like a supplementary piece of your release plan, I think.
But I learned a lot from this, and so I was really happy about this. I hope you learned some things too. Go ahead and follow the account. We'll have it always, of course, in our show notes.
This made me so happy about all the pitches that I put out. It made me like, yes, okay.
Vindication, good.
Vindication.
Yes. Okay. So let us know how your pitches are going. If you have any success in the future, please leave us a comment. We'd love to know that.
Yes, we would.
And we've got a ton more, so stick around. Okay, so speaking of content,
Yes.
this has been, I don't know what your algorithm is like.
I don't think you want to. Nobody does.
Nobody does. That's something that is probably needs to be said is like everybody's algorithm really just needs to be private to them, right?
You keep your algorithm to yourself. Do you ever have that when you hand your phone to someone with like Instagram or YouTube and they're like scrolling and you're like, damn, what are you gonna?
Oh god.
What do you know what? Hey, let me grab. I'll look it up for you. I'll find it for you.
Yeah, don't go like you can learn a lot from someone by going to what is it, the explore page?
Yes.
And seeing what's
populated for them.
Grid of 12 things. And I have to be honest, there are times when I look at my explore page and I feel really proud of myself.
Yes.
Because I'm like, oh, I am a good person. My explore page is birds. That's nice.
So I sometimes fuck up my algorithm on purpose.
Okay.
And and I've gotten smarter about this now that I'm older.
Yeah.
So now I have multiple accounts, some of which that I'm like, okay, if we have to go learn this, we're going to do this somewhere where it's not going to keep coming back to me. Because I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
But there are definitely times when when I'll go on like a tangent or I want to learn something or I'm like researching something in particular and I'm like, okay, now my entire it's a tangent, but it's relevant for the podcast.
All right.
I was doing a consultation helping people figure out what mics to buy for their podcasts. So I was looking up USB mics. And I didn't want my fucking feed to be filled with a bunch of fucking
cheap Temu mics.
Yes, exactly. And so I had to go on my other account, just so I wasn't getting like a bunch of fucking Logitech suggestions.
That's so wholesome though. Yeah. That's really good. I have this. There's been a place that I've wanted to say this, and the thing is, I haven't been able to post about this because if you post about it, the algorithm will see it.
It's like, oh, this is what you're about.
So there are some things, and I think I can cop to them here because I don't think that the algorithm is going to do us dirty like that here.
Not yet.
There's two things that I hide every time it shows me, and there's a third one that's actually coming up now that's getting to be pretty prominent as well. One, cats.
Cats? Okay.
Hot fucking take. I do not want to see your cat on my internet. I don't fucking care.
My cat is so cute though. Look at it. It's jumping.
Look at it. It's laying there with his belly.
It's waving its toes.
Look, it's shedding all over and giving you dandruff.
Don't you want to pause for the pause? Oh my god.
God, I get so there's certain social media accounts where you can go and you can like specify words to exclude. The first thing I do when I sign up for a new account, the first thing I do is I actually go and I check the privacy settings and do the DMs, the CCPA stuff. Then cats, kitties, calico, Catterday, like just on and on. Just because I don't want to see.
The question is, do you like dogs? Are you in for the dog videos? Or are you anti-animal videos?
No, I'm fine with the dog. I don't want to see a lot of them, but I'm fine with the dog videos. Oh, okay. The horse videos, you're just fine.
You're pro equine.
And actually, I'm actually down with the wild cats. So a big tiger, a big lion, a leopard, a bobcat. Like I'm actually down to watch
Hollywood big cat. Did you follow that story?
There
was a big cat in Hollywood that was walking around for a while, and there's footage. I bet you would love it. You got to go look it up.
I bet there's footage of got excluded in my algorithm because it said the word cat, and it was like
it's like, oh no, you don't want to see that.
Number 2 is anything related to Star Wars.
Ooh,
because if you are a male person of a certain age,
Star Wars and Star Trek, they come together.
Yeah, and I like Star Trek, so I don't mind a little Star Trek content.
A little slither in the side.
But you don't get to serve me a single. So occasionally there is actually something.
Luke,
Star Trek.
I am your father.
See, now the algorithm is killing us. Occasionally there is something that I might be mildly interested in Star Trek. Star Wars.
You could get it. It could be AI. It could be like Augustus. I am your AI overlord.
If there was something that I wanted to check Star Wars, if there was like a link and I was like curious, I would absolutely sign out and check it or open it in incognito.
Yes.
I do not want anything Star Wars.
I don't need it suggested to me.
Now the third one that's coming up for me I'm noticing a lot of content around is the Beatles.
Ooh. The Beatles are still oversaturated even 70 years later.
It'll serve you if you click a couple Beatles things and like, I'm interested in the Beatles. They're cool songwriters. It's cool shit.
Classics.
Yeah.
Formed the industry.
Yeah, but I don't want to get like served nonstop Beatles content.
Okay, can I give you a really hot take really quickly?
Yes, this is such a great segment.
The fucking Beatles are a product of time, not of skill. Hottest take ever.
America.
Come for me.
Oh
Come for me.
my God. Say more, Cameron LJ.
Okay, if you put another band in their place at that exact same time, they would be the Beatles. There would be, like, let's say that, give me another 4-piece Euro rock band from that era that came later.
The Monkees, they're around the same time. But...
Had the Monkees been 10 years sooner, or in like the right place at the right time, I think they would have had the success of the Beatles. I think the Beatles hold all these unique records for us in the music industry. They're like the biggest bands to sell the most people. They have all these records that honestly are very similar to the records Amazon holds. And it's because they came up at a specific time. You were able to capitalize on a market that was ready. And like nobody before this, I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. This could be a whole segment now. I'm so fucking ready.
This is incredible.
Yes.
Because first of all, you just compared the Beatles to Amazon.
I mean, who's complimented? Who's more complimented? Is it Jeff or is it John?
But what you are saying, I think your take is a little hot.
It is hot.
But you are pointing...
I did preface it with that it was hot.
But you are pointing to something that I think is... Let's just go with this. You are pointing to something that is real in the music industry, which is that luck and timing and preparation being the thing that drives luck is a major part of who succeeds and who fails.
Yes.
And the other thing that you said is... You said the word that we say from time to time here, the I word, infrastructure.
Yeah.
The Beatles had all of this infrastructure that was kind of ready for them. It's a lot like Elvis is another great example where it was like that could have kind of I can see it with because I'm really more emotionally attached to the Beatles than I am to Elvis, and so I'm having a hard time kind of metabolizing that when it comes to the Beatles. Yeah, because I do think there are some really good songs.
There are some great songs. I'm not saying that they're not incredible, amazing musicians. However, I think another band in that time could have had that same slot
if they had the sophistication of writing. And the songwriting chops. And I think that needs to be said, right?
The song has to be good no matter what. We can't get there with bad musicians. Like we're not here to talk about like, oh, the Beatles weren't that good. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm saying that let's say the Beatles didn't make their music then and they were alive now, they wouldn't be the Beatles.
Now that's true.
They couldn't be the Beatles. Yeah. So, and I think the same thing is true about like someone like Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus during her Hannah Montana. It's 20-year anniversary of Hannah Montana, which is why it's in the ethos right now. But she was one of the first artists to have that movie. Like I'm in a show. The show is about me as a musician, and that then propels me into having not just a fictional music career, but then a real life music career. And so I think many other artists could have been in her place as well.
Well, that wasn't necessarily an original thing because the Osmonds were that.
But they didn't have that same cultural cachet. I feel like the Disney machine worked so long from like 1990 to like that early part of the early 2000s to build this machinery where they would have music infrastructure. They would have TV infrastructure. They would have all of these.
Well, the Osmonds had that. We mentioned the Monkees. The Monkees had that. So it's like this, like they weren't. And I'm not even like, it's not to disagree with your point, but to like, I think to sort of contextualize it, like there wasn't necessarily a revolution that they did that. However, I do think they were able to kind of do it to it. They had this whole media apparatus, right? Yeah. Because they're Disney. They got the movies, they got the TV, they got the Disney Channel.
They had this entire network.
Again, infrastructure.
Exactly. This entire infrastructure that really, I think, you could have slotted different people into that infrastructure and had a similar result. It wouldn't necessarily have to be that one person. There would, like we were talking about, there has to be a skill level. Yeah. You can't be
a work ethic.
Yes, absolutely. Like many things have to align, but I do think you could slot different things into that same slot.
I am really thinking about this now. I'm thinking about maybe Elvis, like I said.
Yeah, agree.
Who like obviously was this kind of revolutionary figure and really changed the entertainment industry. Yeah. And as Eminem put it so succinctly in the 90s, used black music to get himself wealthy.
Oh yeah. There was a lot of issues with Elvis. There's a great video right now that's on YouTube. Came out like, if you're watching this episode, it came out like a week ago. and it's by a YouTube channel called Maddie Balls. Just like jumps down all the issues with Elvis. Amazing video. Go check it out.
So
after this, not now.
Yeah, call to action to somebody. Whatever. Do what you want. It's your internet. Have fun. It's your algorithm.
This is your internet.
So don't show anybody although do share this
share
episode.
our
So what I want to do now is I think we do have a little bit of news. Do you want to do it real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so the reason all of this setup
all of this is a build up
was this build up to this what has been dominating my algorithm this week. Which has been somebody who I think has been rightly compared to the Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
One of the greatest musical minds of our generation.
Someone who just really elevated music.
Afroman.
That's right. That's right. Took it to a higher plane.
I think Afroman could have written Love Me Do.
Yeah.
But McCartney and Lennon could have never written Because I Got High.
No. Well, what era are we talking about?
True.
Is Yellow Submarine?
Yeah, that's true.
When are we?
That's true. And if you're anything like me, you've got the news right now. Afroman has won his lawsuit from his videos that he's been making since 2022.
Yes.
He was raided by sheriffs in Ohio where he lives.
Fuck the police.
Fuck the police. That has to be said. Well, it doesn't have to be said because we all know it, but it does have to be said.
It does.
So they raided his home in 2022. They said they were looking for drugs and human trafficking.
Yeah, I read that.
He kept his shit clean.
No, there was no fucking drugs. There was no human trafficking.
There was like $400 in a safe, which they took.
And that's another thing is they took some of the money. A lot of this money, like what a big part of this case is like, okay, like there have been a bunch of these incidents of like people who've been swatted or people who've been improperly arrested or searched or had these warrants executed on them on like suspicion.
Yeah.
Like the suspicion that you're Afroman. You could be doing lots of dangerous shit. And so, they come in, they raid your house. And oftentimes if you have cash in your home or wherever is being raided, police will steal the cash. They'll take the cash.
It's called civil forfeiture.
Yeah, and technically they're supposed to itemize it. They're supposed to say how much was taken, but oftentimes it doesn't go exactly how it's supposed to.
So Afroman, of course, if you haven't seen this, he had cameras in his house. He wasn't there, but he was able to actually get his ex-wife there to help him out.
He had kids there. It was like a family home.
Yeah, he's got kids. So he showed up to his court case wearing a
fire pit. It was so fire.
Sunglasses with American flag lenses, a red, white, and blue suit with a matching tie with the like stars and stripes. And he basically just called them out, and he's been calling them out since 2022. He's got some bangers like "Are You Going to Pay for My Door?"
Yep.
"Lemon Pound Cake."
Yes. That's the one.
These are banger tunes. And I think a couple things to point out is one, you have to admire Afroman turning a really negative situation into art.
Yeah. And I also like, I just love fucking seeing this fucking police officer so unhappy.
Yeah.
You also have to realize they played these songs in the courtroom. They played these songs in the courtroom. So also this suit is brought, I believe it's the police officer.
The police were suing, I should say that. So the police were suing him
for defamation.
Yep.
For fucking defamation. So this is your suit, bro. This is your suit as the fucking police officer who stole the money. So as the police officer, you're now having to sit in court and have this Lemon Pound Cake song trolling on you specifically played.
So Afroman is called I'm gonna name
hero of his time.
I'm gonna name names. Officer Brian Newland, he called him a pedophile and a child molester.
Yes.
And if you're a cop, that's kind
Probably
of how I feel about you. He went a little low with the one woman cop.
But didn't he say she was like the feminine? There was like a feminist comment about her.
Well, he called her Lick'em Low Lisa, basically implying that she's a lesbian.
Oh,
she's like, I don't know. That's like, yeah, it sucks.
I understand the alliteration what you were trying for.
Yeah,
she could have chosen different.
Like, you don't have to gay people aren't a joke in 2026.
you can find other things.
Yeah,
there are other alliterations you can make.
Yeah. Afroman said one officer, Randy Walters, Afroman in the song said. Yes. Afroman said that in this one song that he had sex with Randy Walters' wife.
Yes, I remember this.
And in the testimony, the officer, Randy Walters, couldn't say that Afroman hadn't slept with his wife.
He was like, he could be sleeping with my wife. I don't know. I don't know that he's not sleeping with my wife.
He's like, I hope she isn't.
Yeah, he literally said, I don't know that she's not sleeping with my. And this is such a beautiful thing in the court because the judge was like this is satirical. And the officer is trying to defend it, trying to say, no, it could be real. He could have been sleeping with my wife.
Yeah.
Like, bitch.
Big cell phone.
You wish.
Yeah.
You wish you had that.
Yeah.
Eskimo buddy.
I wish I had more names here because fuck them all. Sean Grooms, Afroman called him the Hunchback of Notre Dame. The lemon pound cake is amazing because he does like it's this officer who is looks like he's enjoyed a couple lemon pound cakes in his life.
Yes.
And he looks longingly for just a moment he does a double take on this lemon pound cake that's on the counter.
Like stops and like looks back. And apparently he was really complaining in the courtroom. He's like, people have been sending me lemon pound cakes to my door. I'm like, well, it sounds like you won. Sounds like you got exactly what you wanted out of this.
Oh, shit. The camera captures things about us that even we don't know about ourselves sometimes.
We have yet to learn.
This is a major win for the First Amendment and for free speech.
Absolutely.
Afroman was able to go out there, perform as an artist, use his art to say his piece, his world-class songs.
Well, because he was wrongly, let's just really clarify this. He was wrongly rated.
Right.
Like this was like something that happened to him incorrectly, unfairly.
Yep.
And essentially they kept his money.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't apologize. There was no reparation for the action.
They trashed his house. They damaged his property.
So he made these songs as fuck you, dude.
Yep.
This is me letting people know what happened to me. And then the police were like, yo, you defamed us.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I made music because I'm a fucking bad bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And the court was like, yeah, you are.
You are a bad bitch. The judge banged the gavel and said, let it be known that
because you got high, it's all good.
The rapper Afroman is one bad bitch. Hear ye, oh yay, and he banged the gavel. And that's actually what happened.
That is.
So this is great. I would recommend you check out Lemon Pound Cake. I would recommend that you check out Who's Gonna Pay for My Door.
Yes.
There's a couple more. And I would recommend, if you're not getting this on your algorithm, let the algorithm give this to you a little bit.
Yes, let them know. Search up Afroman. Play a few of the old hits. Let them know. Let them feel the love.
And just like on a sort of quasi-serious note about this, if you are going through something that's difficult, remember Afroman.
Yeah.
In the courtroom with his sunglasses and his suit, standing up for his rights and taking
your rights
and your exactly and making literal money out of a bad situation.
Yeah,
that's what G's do. That's what hustlers do. That's what you need to be thinking about. You're going to have lows. You're going to have highs, but you've got to stick with it, and you've got to use you have the opportunity, I should say, to take every single moment and channel that into meaningful art.
That's fucking right.
So shout out Afroman.
Shout out Afroman.
Thank you for showing us the way. And we've got one more for you. Okay, all right. This has been a wily episode.
We're out here. We're living.
We're going to do two quick news stories here. Let's start with our Chance the Rapper story.
Yes.
I've got this from Selena Fragassi for the Chicago Sun-Times. The 5-year-plus legal battle between Chance the Rapper and his former manager, Pat Corcoran, ended Friday as a Cook County jury found Corcoran, that's his manager, had failed to prove that he was owed $3.8 million in unpaid commissions and royalties he sought in his lawsuit against his former friend and business partner.
That's wild.
Should we say briefly about how a manager typically makes money?
Yes. Yeah. So a manager usually takes 10% of your expenses, of like
Your income.
of your income. Sorry, not of your expenses. That would suck. Yeah, anything that you're spending, I got it.
You gotta give me 10%
I got you on 10% of any of your costs, bro. Like, and I'll do all the other. No,
That'd be amazing.
that'd be awful. I'd hate that.
Yeah.
It'd be over. No, they usually take 10% of your income, and then do different operational tasks for you. Help you organize your like career, help you like, usually they're not taking care of things like bookings, but usually they're taking care of things like organizing like your tour, making sure all of the business things are taken care of.
And if you get a brand deal, your manager is going to manage that.
Yes.
So typically in a management deal, these deals are in it. Like if I was going to hire you to be my manager, we would have a contract and there would be a term on that.
A management
contract.
agreement, usually.
And there would be a term on that. You're going to manage
set
me
number of years.
Yep. And then what happens is there's something called the sunset.
Yes.
The idea being that a lot of times the work we put into our careers doesn't manifest immediately afterwards, right? So if I work for you for 5 years, well, wait, let's back up because I hired you. So you worked for me for 5 years.
Yeah.
I hired you.
I'm your manager for the last 5 years.
So you put the work out. Now we move on. I say, you're no longer my manager. I'm changing management. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
And then
I'm bummed. It was great working with you, but we got new. I have a different roster. You're doing new things. We're going different directions.
Now, let's say the week after that expires, I get a big Spotify placement, and then I turn that into a big Jimmy Fallon show appearance, and that turns into a big opening tour for a major artist, right? So now suddenly I'm on a 65-date tour, and all of that went down the week after our agreement ended.
Yeah, and I probably did some of the footwork for that too.
You likely did almost all the footwork.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times in these contracts, it's called the sunset clause.
Yes.
Which is that even after our formal agreement you're no longer working for me.
Even though the sun's gone down. Even though the sun is set.
The sun is set on the contract, but the warm afterglow of the heat, you still deserve that 10%.
That golden hour 10%.
Because your efforts are what will have made the next thing possible.
Yeah.
This is normal. There's nothing controversial about this.
Yes. What is weird about this contract, and that's something I think that's important for us to talk about, is these guys were friends before.
Yep.
These guys were just two buds. Like, hey, I'm not that big of a rapper. It's like
2012.
Yeah, 2012.
They worked together from 2012 to 2020.
Yeah, so Chance wasn't big yet. This is way before Coloring Book. So this is like, you're not even like a freshman XXL. You're just like a guy in Chicago who likes to rap.
Really wants it.
Yeah.
They had a handshake agreement. No paperwork.
Nope.
So now their time together has ended. They ended in 2020, and
it didn't end well.
Right.
It was quite a yeah.
So Corcoran now says that he is entitled to, I think he said, for 3 years of income from 2020 to 23 after they ended, due to what they sort of had handshake agreed on a sunset clause, which is nothing was written down,
which is relevant for Chance because this is post the big day. So this is after the release of his kind of panned, not so great record. So if you were a manager leaving after the big day, a lot of people had been like, your career's over, it's done, probably never going to come back. So you're thinking, I'm leaving this contract, like leaving an artist who's really not going to make any more. I'm not going to make anything more from this. But then surprise, Chance kind of has had this little bit of a resurgence again with the new record.
He did have a brand deal. There were some things he'd had.
Oh, he's had some incredible. Chance has had some amazing partnerships, some brand deals, some things that have made him real capital because, he was tied in this is earlier. This is before the chaos, but there was a lot of tie-in with him and Kanye because they're both Chicago artists.
Right. That's right.
And so I think there's a lot of brand alignment with him.
He had a deal with Ben and Jerry's.
Yep.
Which I didn't know.
Yes. Yep. That checks out. That tracks.
I fuck with Ben and Jerry's.
I do too.
I can't eat ice cream, so I didn't know.
Wait, are you lactose?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I can when you make a latte, I can handle a little bit like that. But
girl, I have oat milk too.
Ice cream fucks me up.
So. I have oat milk.
Okay, good to know.
Now I know that.
At any rate.
Learn something every day.
That's good to know. So on the other hand, on Chance's side, he's saying that not only does he not owe this money, but in fact, two things are true. One, Chance is had alleged that Corcoran, his manager, had been siphoning off funds and running his business through some of his other side businesses.
Yes.
And so there's possibly some shady kind of double dipping going on.
There was, and this is alleged, but there was definitely lots of conversation about this. And I think, I think this is something that's worth talking about for us, is like, when you're a new artist and you're like, yo, dude, you want to manage me?
I'll do anything.
Like, yeah. And as a manager, you're like, oh shit, like you're actually growing. Like you're real about this shit. Like we're homies. Like we know each other. We don't really need this shit written down. Like it's all good. Like, bro, I'm just going to help you and your shit's popping up. And then something great happens and you're like, well, I'm staying with you because we had this moment together. So now we're locked in.
And everybody says it. When I eat, my people eat.
Yeah, exactly. And that's true until like, how much are you eating?
Yeah.
How many helpings are you having?
Are you
getting lobster?
Yeah. Or like, am I paying for your food? But then also you're the one who set up the catering company. You own the catering company. So I'm feeding you and also paying you to feed you.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing where managers, you do have to watch out with managers.
Yes.
And if you are a manager, like double dipping is a real problem.
It really, really is.
It's one of the things with the label that we shouldn't do it. We talk about it a lot, but we do manager-y things.
Yeah.
Sometimes for our artists because it's 2026.
We got to do label services.
Yeah. And so, so occasionally we kind of run into stuff where it's like, man, this is actually manager stuff.
Yeah.
But we don't set up manager agreements because that would be double dipping because we're already taking money on the record label side.
Yeah.
So it would be, in our opinion, it would be very immoral for us to take
another 10%.
Yeah, take a cut of your record sales, which we're already getting because we put the capital up, and then we're going to take another 10% off the top. That would be terrible. We wouldn't do that, but a lot of people do that.
What I do in those situations is I do like non-exclusive development consultations, which is how I deal with that. So you can pay me for the time that I spent, but I'm not going to take a percentage of your income if I'm already taking a percentage somewhere else. So then I'm essentially just a contractor for you at that point. So you can hire me to contract for something else that I'm not already doing for you, but like it's only during those hours that I'm doing that, and it's not going to happen. Like I'm not going to be your other person. So we can kind of segregate those things out. Like maybe you do a percentage of some things, and then maybe you have something that you're doing as like a contractor or as separated work.
That makes sense. So of course they didn't have any of this going on. Chance countersued for $1 million.
Yeah.
And basically at the end of it, the jury kind of poo-pooed that. They said, Chance, you are going to get paid out. Corcoran owes you $35.
Yep.
And they recommend that they didn't even stipulate. They recommended
this,
that Corcoran give up the domain name, which I think is chanceraps.com.
Yeah.
Which he was selling merch. He was selling Chance the Rapper merch.
Which is crazy. Selling fake merch of the artists you used to manage. That's insane. That is dirty.
Yeah.
That's dirt. Bro, you're taking away from my merch sales.
All right.
And I'm not even getting 100% of my merch sales.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's the kind of double dipping. I think this relationship seems like it probably just needed to end.
It was ready to be over.
Let's get through this other quick news. BTS smash K-pop records with new album Arirang, but HYBE shares drop after the comeback concert draws a smaller crowd than expected. This is from Mandy Dalugdug from Music Business Worldwide.
Yeah.
So as everybody in the world knows, BTS is the biggest K-pop band.
They're enormous.
And they had to do mandatory military service from South Korea from beginning in 2022. So this is their comeback album.
Yes.
It pulled in over 110 million streams on Spotify in its first 24 hours, breaking the record for the most streamed K-pop album in Spotify history and the most streamed album in a single day this year. Big Hit Music said Arirang, which I don't know if I'm saying that right.
I was wondering if it was Arirang, and I have no idea.
I'm going to guess Arirang, but you can correct us.
That sounds right.
BTS Army, correct us. That's fine. It also sold 3.98 million copies on its first day of release, which surpasses their previous first week record of 3.37 million copies.
Wow.
So they sold more in one day than they sold in a week of their previous record. Arirang has now landed on the 12th spot in Spotify's all-time list for opening day streams across any genre. All 14 tracks are on the Spotify Global Top 50. And all 14 tracks. And I don't like that news. I'm going to skip that one. Amazon Music, and that's all in Spotify news. Amazon Music and Apple Music also reported separately that Arirang set first day global streaming records. However,
this is the big part.
Yeah, the company who
HYBE
not owns them, but like
they're like a
production house.
They represent BTS.
Yeah.
They're the agency. HYBE, HYBE is the agency that represents BTS.
And of course, this is the thing with K-pop is they have these production houses that sponsor them and bring them up.
Absolutely.
BTS is far and away HYBE's biggest moneymaker.
Yes.
So their money was already down for those last 4 years that BTS was doing mandatory military service. And HYBE's shares fell to a 3-month low on Monday amid a broad sell-off of Korean equities after a heavily promoted comeback in Seoul drew a smaller crowd than authorities had initially expected. Shares had fallen 15%.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. So the concert was a free concert in Gwanghwamun Square, and they had a capacity of 22,000.
Mm-hmm.
They expected 260,000, but as few as like maybe I want to say in like the tens of thousands, like 20 or 30,000 came. So
wow.
Like way fewer people came than they expected.
Way undersold.
However, I'm sorry, I know you got something to say.
No.
However, there had been a big kind of police fuck up recently in 2022 where 150 people had died. It's called the Itaewon Crush.
Okay.
And so unlike in America where if 100 people died, 50 people died and it was the police's fault, we'd go, thoughts and prayers, we can't fix the police. Yeah. Give them another $1 million, that'll fix it. Yeah. Which is what we do in America. Give them $1 billion is what we do in America.
Give them more guns.
Yeah. Give them some more guns and give them some time off. Some paid time off.
Oh, well, don't even pay them. Just let them.
Dude, it was a national scandal. It was a national day of mourning. Several of the police who were responsible for this went to jail over this, which we would never do in America.
Can you imagine?
So they were saying that because
qualified immunity, be damned.
So they're saying that this a certain amount of this security ramp up that was present because of how many they expected probably actually pushed people away, which probably did impact it. Also, South Korean stocks just took a hit in general
due to the war,
although HYBE fell more than the general index. So it does seem as if this had an impact.
This definitely had an impact. I thought this was a really interesting thing to talk about with HYBE in particular. One, because we don't spend a lot of time in the K-pop space here, but I think it's really interesting. And we talked earlier this year about the death of hip hop. Yeah. And I think we're getting ready to see another wave of, oh my God, it's the death of, this could be the end of the K-pop era. But I don't know that it is. And I wanted to talk a little bit about HYBE because they actually do have kind of an impressive roster. They have BTS, who we all know. They have the band 17, who we know of. They have Cat's Eye, who we also know. Yep. So they have a ton of other artists. Those are kind of their big top tier artists. But they also have like Tomorrow Together, NFN, and a number Boy Next Door, TWS, and a number.
So they have a huge roster.
New Jeans, like New Jeans. They have New Jeans too. So they have a ton of people on this roster, and it'll just be curious to see one, like if Taylor Swift didn't sell, how would that affect? How would that happen? Like how would we see that affect?
That's true. That's a good point because BTS is sort of being compared a lot to Taylor in terms of just like the economic impact they're going to have. They're going to go on a 82-date, 34-city, 23-country tour.
That's
they're
enormous.
expected to generate $1.93 billion I think in economic activity, not just sales.
Okay.
A figure that could potentially rival the earnings of Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, which of course, so this is
give her a run for her money.
Massive. So I do think you're right. If Taylor had dropped Tortured Poets Department
and undersold and underperformed,
and 10% of the expected people showed up at her first concert than who was expected to show up.
Do you think UMG would drop publicly?
I do. And I think for probably the same reason, because even though HYBE has a ton of other activity going on, and UMG has a ton of other activity going on.
Yeah.
Taylor and BTS are these global market drivers that are so much bigger than the next biggest artist.
That's true. That are exponentially bigger than the next artist underneath them on the label.
Last week we talked about the vinyl sales.
Yeah.
And it was
is a Taylor Swift's vinyl. Last week we literally talked about how we were living in Taylor Swift's reality.
Yeah.
We were living in Taylor Swift's reality. And so
listen to last week about like how many records Taylor sold compared to number 2. And it was crazy. It went from millions to hundreds of thousands.
It's ridiculous. It's insane.
So, and I do think this is probably a legitimate drop. I would say this isn't stock advice, but like it might be a good time to buy some HYBE stock.
Get in now. Get in while it's down. No, absolutely not. And I do think, this is probably a response to a number of things. Like, obviously this is underwhelming performance, but some of that has to do with like what's going on in the local area. And then like, I just think this is curious. I don't think it's the end of K-pop.
No.
I think that K-pop has still got a long run, like roadway. There's a lot ahead of it. I don't think this is like, an indicator of a failing industry. I don't think it's that. I think
in fact, it's probably an indicator of the opposite because they are getting way more pressure and run for their money from K-pop demon hunters.
That's true.
So it's not so much now that it's dying because BTS had this little setback. It's probably more to the fact that it's bigger now. And so they even though the whole market for K-pop is probably larger than it was 4 years ago when BTS went to the army.
Yeah, when they went in initially.
The entire proportion of the K-pop industry is probably more diverse and not as represented solely by BTS as it was back in 2022.
Yeah. I don't know if EJ, the writer who was involved with K-pop Demon Hunters, if she is affiliated with HYBE or not, but I would be fairly surprised, like if there wasn't some correlation there. I would be curious to see if there is.
Yeah, I would be too. I think I read that they're not. She's not with
separate.
HYBE. Yeah,
separate representation.
Don't quote me on that. Again, BTS Army, you can come into the comments. And put us on notice and correct us for everything that we said this wrong.
This is a new industry for me to learn, so we're trying to figure it out just like you.
Yeah, I'd like to learn more about we should kind of just
do a deep dive here. Maybe we do that sometime.
Yeah, and let's just commit to keep following the K-pop trends because I think there's a lot to learn here.
There really, really is.
And there's a lot of opportunities still for us Westerners.
And I think it's a good proxy to the American market, to the Western market. I think that the K-pop market is where the US market was a while ago. I think that it's like a growing market in a way that the American market really isn't growing anymore.
Right.
And so I think it's cool to observe this and to see it and to see what we can what trends we can extrapolate and what we can learn from this and what we can take away.
Yeah, and what you greasy little opportunists out there can get your
what you can do with it. Okay. Now what you gonna do with it?
So we're gonna leave it there. Please stick around. We're going to come back and Cameron is going to give you his take it or leave it advice.
That's right.
Which I haven't heard yet, but this week, I think this might be our most controversial episode that we've ever done.
I think it is.
We didn't really go after Taylor this week.
No, we let it ride. You know? We were letting it ride.
Did the lights change?
I don't know. Does it feel brighter?
It just
feels oranger.
It just feels like it just got oranger.
I don't know.
What is going on?
I don't know. That's like,
did you experience it too?
I felt that.
Yeah.
But I don't see anything different.
Weird.
I felt it, but I don't see it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
I can't look and
be like, it's this.
Yeah.
Usually when there's a big light change, it's one of these random lights up top has come on. And none of those came on. So I don't know what it is.
Might be that the pills are kicking in.
It's because I got high.
So we came after Cats.
Yeah, we did.
We came after BTS.
We came after the Beatles.
Beatles. I mean, we're pissing off the boomers to the Gen Alpha.
No, we're going everywhere.
Yeah, the childless cat ladies. All of you are on notice. Please join us in the comments section.
Because I know you got comments to leave us and we want to read them.
Dog, we went after Star Wars.
Oh, we did. I forgot it. And we kind of even did a dig for Star Trek too.
Yeah.
I slid that in.
Right, which I'll be logged into
you-
my other account to actually defend. But I don't mind that. I get it. It's not for everybody. So, like, all I'm saying is this was a episode full of controversy.
It's going to say spark some controversy.
So, once again, thank you all for joining us. This has been another week of the Wholesome Music Podcast.
We are the DIY podcast for DIY musicians.
Also known as music's
Smallest podcast.
And you can help us to become music's second
smallest.
Mm-hmm. You can help us to become music's second smallest smodcast by sharing our content.
Hit the hype. I saw it came back.
Oh, we
Hit
got
the
hype now?
We do.
Are we hypeable?
We're hypeable. Hit the motherfucking hype button.
That's because we got enough subscribers.
We're out here now. We're big now. Maybe we're not world's smallest.
We might be music's second smallest balls. God, I cannot say that. I know I just said second ballest.
Second ballest.
We are music's second ballest podcast. As always, we like to close the episode with some take it or leave it advice. This is advice that you are free to
take
or leave. We switch off every single week. Last week was me. This week is Cameron. And basically, this is just something that we want to share to you that doesn't fit our typical segment length.
Just a little piece of a little something, a little tidbit to help you go and do the thing.
And we leave this at the end precisely because we want you to listen to the end.
Yeah, we want you to stay all the way through the craziness that you just had.
Yeah.
We want you to stay through that so you can get here.
And so we're going to leave you with this. Cameron, what is your take it or leave it advice for this week?
This week, my take it or leave it advice for you is if you really want to pitch your song for sync or you want to get your song on a playlist, because this week we talked a lot about playlists. So this is my take it or leave it advice. And some of you, you're going to love this. Some of you are going to hate it.
This is good take it or leave it.
Yes, exactly. So here's what the thing is. So if you really want to get your song on a playlist, I would say backwards engineer a song that's already on a playlist or is already in the show that you're trying to pitch to. So you're trying to
so playlisting or for sync this works for.
Absolutely.
And when you say back engineer, you mean
I mean like, okay, maybe I want a song in the show Euphoria. So go watch Euphoria, pick the episode, find the music supervisor, and then find the song that was synced in the show, and then try to make a song like that song. Find the themes. Think about the themes of that song. Use those themes. Find like, okay, cool. This is in major, this is in minor, or this is in an up tempo or like a slow tempo or a high tempo, and kind of take those same themes from that song and backwards engineer to create your song to give you a better chance of getting placed into the playlist or into the sync show that you're trying to get placed.
What about sonically? Should you be taking cues or not sampling, but lifting the style of drums that they use?
Yeah, absolutely. Like what kind of snare, what kind of snare are you using
for our audio only audience? Cameron is gesturing like a bass guitar.
I'm playing the bass here
and saying snare.
Which snare are you hearing? What bass sounds are there? Like pull those sounds, pull the like analyze the soundscape.
Yeah.
Like, is this like bass, drums, guitar, vocals? Is that it? Or is this a big lush soundscape where you've got a lot of synths, you got strings, you got, what is it? What is the soundscape? And try to replicate that as best and as closely as you can. And even if you do this as an exercise, your next song will be better.
That's so true. So Cameron, I'm a genuine artist and I don't want to do this. I just want to make music that comes out with my genuine expression. And if I get on a playlist, I get on a playlist.
That's cool. That's great. That's awesome for you. That, and you're in the leave it case.
Yeah. And I can already hear people in the comments saying this sort of thing. And
yeah,
which is why I just kind of wanted to like bring it up, because like, you're right. You don't have to do this.
You don't have to do it. But if you do it, I guarantee whatever you write next will be better. And whatever you do with this if you've ever done a cover song and you've really tried to make it accurate, it will teach you something about the next song you write. So like if you are, oh my God, I don't really think that much about the structure of my songs, but then I covered this Beatles song and I had to like, oh my God, I had to make a really special bridge because they made a really special bridge. Okay, cool. Now you're thinking about the bridge. Now you're thinking, or like, oh, I never use this plugin and it's the only thing that sounds like this sound that I'm trying to recreate. So now you're expanding your toolbox, you're learning, and you're getting your ears in something different.
Such good advice. People out there, take that advice, leave that advice, but I will tell you, it's good ass advice.
I mean, you know, you could take it or
you could leave it.
That's right.
Thank you for joining us, my friends. We will see you next week.